Waheeda Rehman honoured with Dadasaheb Phalke Award on a very special day on Dev Anand's 100th birth anniversary. Her first Hindi film was 1956's CID, which starred Dev Anand, and of course both of them made several films. She's of course given a reaction after getting this special award. Have a look at that.
जो मैंने फिल्मों में रोल किए हैं, अक्सर मैंने ध्यान में रखा कि प्रोग्रेसिव आइडियाज़ होने चाहिए और औरतों को जो करना चाहते हैं उनको करने देना चाहिए, क्योंकि सदियों से औरतों को आगे बढ़ने नहीं दिया, पढ़ने लिखने नहीं दिया, तो वो दबी दबी थी. उनमें भी टैलेंट होता है, हुनर होता है, एंड दे कैन डू अ लॉट.
They can do a lot. That's a huge takeaway, and she's definitely an inspiration for many women. And now we have her very dear friend Asha Parekh, veteran actor and film director. A very warm welcome, ma'am. Now you have received the award last year, and your best friend, one of your best friends, has also received this year. First reactions from you?
I was thrilled. I was very, very happy that she had received this award, and she's a lovely human being, a lovely actress, and she's done a lot of films which have been acclaimed. So I think she should have been given. So she's got it, and I'm very, very happy.
As you know, all of you, I mean, you and her, you've made our cinema look so beautiful, and with your talent, you also made us, or I mean, this generation, today's generation, 2023 generation, Gen Zs, watch your movies again, go back in time. But, you know, I want you to react to what she said in an interview. She said she thought she was average looking, and today all of us appreciate her beauty. Oh, how do you see that?
Yes, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous because she's a good human being, and that shows on her face.
100%. And you know, there's an inspiration here when we look at you, when we look at her. There's also an instance where she shared that I mean, everybody wanted her to change her name, but yes, she refused, and she was absolutely newcomer. She also worked on her clauses. So there's inspiration there as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you.
But do you see that in today's actors? आप अगर आज का सिनेमा जब देखते हैं तो क्या फर्क आपको नजर आता है सबसे ज्यादा?
वक्त के साथ सब कुछ बदलता है, तो अब फिल्म भी बदल रही है. Good films are coming. OTT has given lovely artists. तो अच्छी बात है.
और जब आपने ये जब अवार्ड आपको मिला था, तो आपका क्या रिएक्शन था? आपका पहला क्या रिएक्शन था?
मैं बॉस्टन में थी, तो सवेरे 4 बजे मुझे फोन करके कहा गया, तो आई डिडंट रियलाइज व्हाट शी वाज टॉकिंग, सो आई बैंग द फोन सेइंग 4 बजे है, बंद करो टेलीफोन. फिर मुझे वापस आई गॉट अ मैसेज, तो आई कुडंट बिलीव इट. 2 दिन तो इट टुक अ लिटिल टाइम फॉर मी टू कि हाँ, मुझे दादा साहेब फाल्के अवार्ड मिला है.
राइट. आपकी क्या मेमोरी है जब हम 60s 70s को देखते हैं, तो आपकी वहीदा जी की क्या मेमोरी है?
वहीदा जी की मेमोरी ये है कि उनकी जो पिक्चरें आई थी, आई थिंक दे वर द मोस्ट वंडरफुल फिल्म्स इन विच शी वर्कड. एंड उस वक्त इतना मतलब मुलाकात होती नहीं थी, बिकॉज वी बोथ वर वेरी बिजी. बट अब मुलाकात होती रहती है, मिलते रहते हैं हम लोग, एंड आई थिंक शी इज अ वेरी वेरी फाइन फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन, a good friend of mine.
And what did you think of her comeback? I mean, when we see Delhi 6 or Rang De Basanti?
Well, there also she kept her mark. Whatever she did put her mark there, wherever she was.
Sure. And can you take us back to what it was like being on sets in those years, in that era, in 60s, 70s?
Sets, okay. We didn't have these vanity vans. So the best thing was to be on the set, so it became like a family, you know. You would joke and laugh on the sets.
And what do you see now? I mean, you, of course, I mean, I'm sure you discussed that with Waheeda ji as well. Have you guys discussed how things have changed? And if there's one good change and one maybe, let's say, not so good change that you've seen?
Well, technically we've grown too much. We can compete with Hollywood films.
Yeah, that's
better
a
than
huge
Hollywood
change.
Films. And the bad thing is that our music is not doing as good as it used to be. The lyrics and the music was more beautiful in our times.
But we've been remixing all those tracks from your era.
Yes, they are. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
So you think there can be more originals when it comes to music?
Yes, music and lyrics.
And you
And
know, as
at
I'm,
least have less of that dum-dum so that we can hear what the words are. We can't even know what the words are.
right. And as I said in the opening, it's a very special day. It's Dev Saab's 100th birth anniversary. And they've had quite a hit jodi, and she made her debut with him.
Yes,
So do you see the timing also to be absolutely apt?
absolutely. I think it's been a very nice year, and I'm very happy for her. And I congratulate her, though I have already congratulated.
Yeah, that's what I was going to come to. What was the conversation like with her today?
No, I congratulated her on Sunday.
You congratulated
When I went to her
on a
house,
call?
She had just got a call from the minister, and she told me. So she said, but किसी को बताना मत. I said, नहीं, मैं किसी को नहीं बताऊंगी.
Why did she say that?
Because the minister had said, let the press come out with it.
Right. And INB minister has said that, you know, she of course exemplifies strength of Bharatiya Nari.
Absolutely.
Can you just share some details? How do you think she lives that title?
She lives the title because, I mean, she's a mother. She's got wonderful children. She does a lot of social work. She looks, I mean, for Pratham, she has done so much for children who are not educated, getting them educated. Pratham is a very big organization. And she's a brand ambassador of it.
And lastly, before we let you go, do you also look at her choices as very brave, you know? Because there was this heroine in 60s, 70s who said that I would wear the kind of costumes I like. It's unheard of. I mean, you can't imagine a newcomer today say that or put that clause or condition.
I think we were all very bold. We knew what we wanted. We never went astray.
Right.
That whatever people would say, where we would wear, no. We had our own designers who did our dresses, our own hairstylists. So.
Right. So, of course, ma'am, salute to that spirit and also to all the great work that you have delivered and has beautified our cinema. Thank you so very much, ma'am.
That's all right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Bye. So, you know, it's a special day and we, of course, asked her the timing of this award as well. Waheeda ji has got this award on Dev Anand's 100th birth anniversary. Now, let's shift gears and talk about that. We have with us Balaji Vittal, who's author and columnist. And let's talk now about Dev Saab. And, you know, this is the second time in this week, I think, that we are having this conversation. Definitely a legend. First of all, your reaction on this award being given on such a special day. She made her debut with Dev Saab, and they've done some great films like CID and, you know, many more.
Couldn't have been a better day than Dev Saab's birth centenary. Of course, I agree. But I think the award itself, and I'm very, very happy about it, but it was slightly delayed. I think she should have got it much earlier than when she did. But happy that she got it, and very, very well deserved indeed.
Yes. Now let's also talk about Dev Saab. You know, PM Modi has also tweeted a picture with him. It's a special day and a huge day for all his fans. You have extensively studied him. You've seen his graph. We've discussed that on our shows as well. Today, what is the top highlight that you want to share with someone who's not introduced to the world of Dev Anand? One highlight that, okay, if you had to define this man in one highlight or one line, what would that be?
He didn't turn 100 today. He turned 25 4 times over. I was watching the crowd reaction over the weekend when the Dev Anand Film Festival was happening and old film, 60s, 70s. I saw the crowd going mad. It was over 80% full and many of them were youngsters and they were cheering and they were singing along some of the old classics. Tere Mere Sapne Ab Ek Rang Hai, which is Dev Saab and Waheeda Ji's guide. They were singing along. It's amazing. I was telling my wife, how is it possible that these guys who are hardly the 30s, 20s, 30s and all, they are able to sing along? I would have been pleasantly surprised if they even heard of Dev Anand, but they went much beyond that. So I think he still lives. As a person, he was always young, and I think that's the biggest takeaway for all of us. No matter what profession you are in, you can always be young at heart, and you can be remembered for being that.
Let's talk about both Waheeda Rehman ji and Dev Anand Saab. And you know, there in this interview, she mentions that she used to call him Dev Saab, but he refused. I mean, he said, "I just call me Dev," because he wanted to build that connection. Is there any story like that that you know, that you would want our viewers to know between Waheeda Rehman and Dev Anand?
Well, they had a lot of respect for each other. I mean, the three of them, in fact, if you say Gurudutt, Waheeda Rehman, Dev Anand, they have worked together in many films, and she had great respect for both of them, Gurudutt and Dev Anand. And if you look at it, she has acted with all the big actors. And of course, with Dev Anand, strangely, her connection with Dev Saab goes even before CID, which was her first, because she acted in a Telugu movie called Rojulu Marai, yani ki Zamana Badal Gaya. Usme gana tha Eruva Ku Sagara, which later became Dekhne Mein Bhola Hai, the Bombay se aaya hai, you know, wo jo gana hai from Bombay Ka Babu. So in a way, her first hit dance number had a connection with Dev Anand, which would come out in a Dev Anand movie. That song would come out in a Dev Anand movie long back. So strangely, there is a connection that she had with Dev Anand even before CID happened. So it's strange, but that's the way the connections run. And of course, in her first film, she played a negative role with Dev Saab, which actually emphasizes what she said, that she was a progressive woman. She liked to play progressive roles. So she didn't play the good girl, she played the bad girl. Again, if you look at Guide and those films, in Kala Bazaar again, she lets go of her existing boyfriend and she makes Dev Anand her second boyfriend. So there's a lot of progressive element in that woman you see in Kala Bazaar. And of course, Guide, everybody knows. She said, I'm going to break away from this stupid marriage that I'm in, and I'm going to do just what I like. And that exactly emphasizes the progressive woman that she has played.
And you know, there were also talks about, I mean, when she chose to play a married woman in Guide, right at the beginning of her career, there were, I mean, the advices that she would get, that she shouldn't be choosing roles like those. But I think she went against the wave. Everything that was not, let's say, allowed or accepted, she went on and took those things bang on.
Absolutely. And that's why R.K. Narayan said she's the sweetest Rosie I could have hoped to see. And Dev Anand was very clear that it's going to be Waheeda and no one else. He was very clear it's going to be Waheeda who's going to be my Rosie in Guide.
Yeah, and you know, he's known to portray women in a very progressive way. So that way, I think it was also a Jodi made in heaven, because Waheeda wanted to, you know, Waheeda ji wanted to portray roles of a certain kind, and he also wanted women in his films to look a certain way, which I think she fit the bill.
Yeah, she was a progressive woman, and he was the ever romantic, the ever young, ever green. So that's why the connections happened.
And she called him decent flirt. Is something that she also... So which I think a lot of women also connected with.
Romance women without cheating any of them. You don't take that.
Yeah, which I think a lot of women also, I think, all of the country, they also connected with that. He was this decent guy, but also romantic. He wouldn't cross the line. And much before this, you know, SRK wave, he created that space where he was this romantic, progressive guy that everybody liked.
And a thorough gentleman. A gentleman flirt, you can call him.
But then, you know, every artist has his or her own phase. He also had those. Talk us about the downfall that he saw.
Des Pardes was his last hit film. Now, what happened is a lot of elements need to come together to make a good film. It's like a project. And somewhere Dev Saab wanted to sort of carry on the legacy of carrying a film on his own shoulders, all by himself. He would play the lead himself. He would write the script himself. He would do the editing himself. No, that doesn't work. You've got to distribute work, and your editor has to challenge you, right? He's got to say that, no, this won't work, that won't work. But I thought he just kept going ahead and ahead and ahead and never looking back. But you've got to look back and look at, take stock of what worked and what didn't work. So while people appreciated his passion and his infectious enthusiasm, and they loved him for his gentlemanness and the fact that he gave opportunities to a lot of youngsters, which again underlines his, youngster sort of an image. But the films itself didn't come out as well. It wasn't a good script. It wasn't real. It wasn't realistic. It looked caricaturish at some point. If you take away the Dev Anand factor and the Navketan banner, Some of the films, I'm sorry to say, look like B-grade films. But it was Dev Anand out there. But one person cannot a film make. A lot of elements need to come together.
Right.
I wish he had realized.
Right, we've come to the end of this segment though, but before you go, he was known also for his music. Give us like one song recommendation that we should start listening to as we wrap this.
Gata Rahe Mera Dil. That is Dev Anand. That is
evergreen
Waheeda
one.
Rehman.
Of course, I'm going to play that after I wrap from here, but that's all the time that we had for this segment. But news continues on the other side. This is Arun Singh signing off.